I'm Ian Rush and you're watching the Redmen TV.
I think that there must be money in there. The only thing I would say is I don't know whether we would actually say it's a strict 20 million, So I think a lot of it will depend on what kind of target they've got. But I just hope we don't overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
If there's a player out there for 15 million who can transform our season and next season, I just hope we're not haggling over because we only want to spend 13. It's that kind of stuff.
I think the issue we've got at the minute is that there are too many issues within that squad. And it's very easy after a win and a nice, a nice win to kind of go, okay, things aren't quite as bad as all that. But there are clear issues that need addressing in that squad and in that first 11. We're not going to fix them, and we might be able to.
20 million ain't going to might not fix one position.
Yeah, exactly. We might be able to fix one for that kind of. We might. But we're certainly not fixing them all, and we're certainly not fixing them all in January. So the question again comes back to it, I guess, Chris, is it a case of, I'm hoping anyway, that this defensive thing hasn't damaged any other plans that might have been in place, I guess.
Well, yeah, I think you're right there, and I've got probably a slightly different view on most people on why Klopp's not wanting to spend the money. I think most people, I don't know whether you guys think the same, but have gone well, he wants to look at the squad and stuff like that. I think he wants to look at the league more. Remember, he's only been in the league 2 months. He might have a type of player that he likes to play with, but they might not suit what he's seeing so far. So I think long term, he wants to play out the season and go, right, you know what, that might have worked at Dortmund, but for the Premier League, that player's not right.
Yeah.
I think that's why he's being so smart with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's part and parcel, isn't it, of his analysis of his whole thing. Again, something Paul Tompkins says in his thing is that he is the least the least experienced Premier League manager, like him and Remy Gard. The least experience of this league in the league at the moment. Now he'll get it right, but he needs time to look around and work it all out. It may
also be the old chestnut that all the good players are playing in the Champions League are not going to come now anyway, so you might as well wait till the summer. Yeah. And let's hope that that's the kind of player he wants.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. It absolutely should be. But
I think what you were saying as well, if you remember Rafa on his first season, there's no way Rafa would not have expected to be buying Peter Crouch. When he arrived at Anfield, there's no way he'd have thought, I'm going to end up buying someone like Peter Crouch.
Yeah. Did Carroll play for him though at Valencia?
Might, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think he sort of realised
he was a different type of forward at that time.
It's just he's Klopp's seeing that he needs more physicality, and I think it's a mixture of things. There will be a mixture of seeing what he can get now, seeing what he needs over time. I think you've got a point that he wants to see what he needs, but I think if there's a player available,
good defenders. I think that's the thing.
Well, the other thing is that sometimes it's good to bring players in January because you bed them in.
Yeah.
And then come the summer, they're not new players. They're actually got a lot of that behind them,
And this is why the Grealish thing, and again at Anfield we don't know. It hasn't been 100% confirmed. But the idea, letting him go back out on loan seems a bit soft. I'd rather just have him training. Yeah, I'd rather just have him kicking around and
learning the philosophy that Klopp wants him to understand.
Absolutely.
There are sort of stories that he isn't going to go back on loan though. That we're going to cost us an extra million, So.
Well, you look at Origi. He didn't want to go back, did he? Well, he went back and very quickly realised he'd rather not have gone back.
Yeah.
He got voted the worst player in France or something.
But this is it. I think that you're dead right in getting people in those situations, because we saw it with Coutinho, didn't we? He had half a season under his belt by the time he started the next season. Good to just get
going back to before transfer windows were a thing. We bought Emil Heskey, and I can't remember the exact figures now, but I think we paid 11. But if we'd have waited until the summer, we could have got him for 8, and we got him something like in the March or something like that. The idea was for him to give us a push to get in the Champions League, and that didn't work out. But
by the time 7 goals or something in that time,
and by the time we played the next season, he wasn't bed. He'd already kind of had his bedding in time.
Exactly. I think that's it. I think it's an interesting one. Everyone likes it. We all like a transfer, don't we? To be fair, it'd be nice. Just get you that little bit more excited. And I
think by the end of the summer, I was done with them though.
Yeah,
it goes on for too long in the summer.
But
the January window's nice and short. You can really sort of get in there and get out straight away.
What's good at the moment is we need a centre back, and we could actually go and buy one today, couldn't we?
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because the window's open.
Oh, no,
you haven't got to
yeah.
wait.
Yeah, no, that
you
is
know.
amazing.
Yeah, which is what would have happened years ago before windows. If you have an injury crisis, you go and buy someone, and you get rid of them later on in the season if they're not quite what you want. You know, instead of having to wait.
Yeah, so yeah, it's good. I'm interested. I'm very interested to see what we do. I'm kind of sort of looking forward to it, but I think ultimately you're dead right on the Klopp thing. You don't want him to be in that position where, like, I think like Rodgers kind of did to some extent. I felt like he bought players and then worked out
What he was going to do
what he
with
was
them.
going to do with them after the
okay.
fact. I think and that's half him and half the committee, I think. Whereas I think you get the impression, or I'm hoping that you're right on that. The Klopp is analysing what he's got available to him and seeing who can do a job for him, and then be working out what he feels is required to be a success in that. Because
You want players who've got winning things experience, and that no one in the Premier League who's got that is going to sell them to us, are they? So even if we could afford it, so